Hello and welcome to SEGA News Bits, and oh my, we're going to be talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon, and a lot of news hit for this game, even though I thought we were done with the news. Like, I thought they were just going to announce what the Day 1 edition was going to be, and we'd be done.
Yeah.
But IGN had an IGN at home event. Are we missing E3 right now?
I don't know.
Should it have been happening?
I think it happened last month, and it never happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right, of course. So maybe this was supposed to be an E3 announcement. I'm not sure, but we got it through IGN. So what they've announced is that the 7th Yakuza game, Yakuza Like a Dragon, will be releasing to the PlayStation 5. And was this a surprise to you?
Yeah. The whole Xbox thing, right? Or the other thing?
The PlayStation 5 thing, was that a surprise?
It was a surprise that they didn't announce it was coming day 1 for PlayStation 5.
Right.
Because if you look at the release, it says, oh, it's coming at a later date. But yeah, it's coming day 1 on Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Xbox Game Pass, I'm assuming, since all the other ones have. So I'm actually surprised that this is the first time we have a launch of a Yakuza title that's not on a Sony platform. I think the closest we got was like 1 and 2 HD was on the Wii U the same day as the PlayStation 3. And those are just old games, so I wouldn't count that, right?
Right. Yeah, I wasn't surprised just because when this game was announced, they said it was coming to Xbox Series X through the, little up converter, whatever. And they've made it very clear that it was an Xbox Series X game. It wasn't a Xbox One game that was backwards compatible. And so because of that, I was like, well, clearly a PS5 version's inevitable. And we've seen this before, I believe. Yakuza 6 was on PS3?
Yeah, well, no, I think we're thinking 5 was on 3.
5.
Yeah.
Right. And 4.
Yeah. And 3.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, they also, let's talk about a little bit about what this trailer showed. I mean, it was really showcasing the English voice tracks of this game.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about the people we're going to have voicing these characters?
Absolutely. So that was another surprise. I think more surprising than the PS5 version. Mm-hmm. And that is that there's going to be an English dub. And they said in the press release, and I think it's the way they phrased it, this is the first English dub option. Because the very first Yakuza game, when it released in the United States, it was only an English dub. It did not have it as an option. So that's their phrasing there. But what's interesting about it is that it's going to have obviously English-speaking actors, but the notable ones include George Takei from Star Trek, who's playing the antagonist Masumi Arakawa. And there's I think it was like USA Today or something article where he was like talking about the game, which is a pretty big deal. Yep. And I think having him is a big win for them because he's a celebrity voice. He can make the talk show circuits. He's an interesting guy. People already like his interviews. And so when he's on these talk shows in the coming months, even if it's remote, they'll say, they'll end it every time going, and what are you working on now? Oh, I'm voicing the enemy in Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yep. And
he's already come out and saying some personal things about it. He likes the game. I like the idea of him playing the game, though I'd guess he maybe just watched some cutscenes. I don't know.
Maybe. But
maybe.
The contrast between the way these actors are promoting the game and the way they did for Judgment, the English voice actors for that, is a huge contrast on how it was for the first Yakuza game. I felt like nobody understood the first Yakuza game when they were voicing it. They just kind of went in for the paycheck and they got out because it wasn't that huge of a franchise.
And Mark Hamill notably was playing Goro Majima in the first Yakuza game, and when asked about it in later years, he doesn't remember doing it despite there being videos. And of course, voice actors, they do so much work, it's inevitable that they'll forget roles from 10 years ago. Hell, we forget that we've done Sega Talk podcasts. We're like, let's do this game, and we'll go through the notes, and then we're like, wait, we did this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the actors then. Other actors include Andrew Morgado as Koichi Adachi, Greg Chun as Yu Nanba, who English fans will know Greg as the lead for the English dub of Judgment. Mm-hmm. So that's a really cool little get there. And then we have Elizabeth Maxwell as Psycho Mukoda. And then there's another one that they haven't announced yet, but it's been teased on Twitter. I forgot his last name, but Daryl something, the original English voice actor for Kazuma Kiryu.
Wait, are you serious?
So he was on Twitter, and he was, when IGN said, hey, we've got the Yakuza Like a Dragon stream coming later, he was like, you guys are going to want to watch this. And why else would the Yakuza 1 voice actor for Kazuma be saying, hey, keep your eyes open for the Like a Dragon stream? Maybe he wasn't expecting an announcement, but it didn't come.
You know what? I was just going to ask you, what do you think happened to the Yakuza 1 voice actor for Kiryu? But I wasn't looking at Twitter when he was responding to this, but that's interesting, because I was wondering, did he even care about voicing Kiryu? And I know that at the time he wasn't a huge actor, at least. So it was, right, I think, one of his first roles. So I'm assuming to him it did mean a lot compared to, like, you know, Mark Hamill, who is Luke Skywalker.
Right, and I feel like I'm doing him a disservice by not saying his name. His name's Daryl Curiolo. And do not search Yakuza Daryl, because you'll get that clip from The Office where they had the #1 heart surgeon who killed the Yakuza. Remember on The Office, the TV show? Yeah. Anyway, but that's really cool that he's coming back to voice. The character's not a big role in Like a Dragon, but he is there, right?
Yeah, and I do want to say that this is a huge deal, and I don't think a lot of Sega fans are making a huge deal as it is, because this is a really big project that Sega's doing for Yakuza Like a Dragon. They're not only gonna dub it, so that means 2 translations. They're gonna voice it with actual, like, big actors that I think are gonna give more hype to the game. But they're also gonna resync the movements of the mouths to the English actors to make it a seamless experience. And it's very interesting because, like, Sony for Ghost of Tsushima did not do that. So when you play it in Japanese, even though it's supposed to be an homage to Japanese cinema, the movements are only English voice actors, and they never did the caption. Right. So Sony is behind Sega on this aspect right now. So it's pretty interesting seeing Sega in the forefront of bringing localizations and English voices into a Japanese game like this.
Absolutely, and Judgment, we've been bringing it up a lot. That was kind of a test bed for all this, because they also had the lip sync for the English voices. So it's cool that Judgment, despite, I don't know how well it sold, I don't know if it's going to continue as a series, I don't know if it's like the new binary domain, but the mere fact that so many things that went into that game are now carrying over into Like a Dragon and the Yakuza series is pretty cool. Another thing that was announced were the various editions that you can get.
Yeah.
So let's run through them here. So there is it was called the Day 1 edition, but now they've renamed it the Day Ichi edition.
Yeah.
And that's going to be $59.99. It's going to include a Legends costume set, so you're going to get 8 costumes from past Yakuza games, so you can dress your characters up like Kazuma, Goro Majima, etc. There's also going to be a steelbook case, which is a nice perk there. I think the Kiwami games were in steelbook cases.
Yeah, and they look nice. So I was actually thinking the other day, I wish they would do more of the steelbook cases, where like every Yakuza game should have a steelbook case, so it could look nice on my shelf, even if I have to rebuy them. It's like that's how much of a fiend I'm getting to be here.
Yeah, and just, we haven't seen the steelbook case yet, but looking at the package art here, I'm going to assume that the logo, the rating, the SEGA logo are going to be printed on like a sleeve, and then you lift the sleeve up and it's going to be like the clean art there, so that they can use the same steelbook for Xbox and PS4. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's my guess too.
Yeah, which will be great, because when you look at the Xbox one, it's a really ugly package because it's got that big Series X sticker on the side. They had to move the logo up more. They've got the big gray Series X Xbox One thing going across the top.
Busy.
So it's just, yeah, exactly. It's a little too busy. There's also going to be, I thought this was weird, there's going to be a digital edition, but it's actually going to be $10 more than the physical edition.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
The Hero Edition, yeah, and that's going to be $70. It's going to include the aforementioned costume set, as well as 2 additional playable jobs for combat, including the guitar-playing Devil Rocker and the Naginata-wielding Matriarch, as well as extra employees for the game's management mode minigame. And then, we're not done yet, there's the Legendary Hero Edition, which is digital only for that same price, which includes all the previous content, as well as bonus crafting, karaoke, ultimate costume, and stat boost items. I don't know why they're the same price. Maybe that was a mistake on IGN's part, but it just seems kind of weird that you'd have 2 digital versions.
I think it's $10 more the last one. I think it's 90 because I think I saw it on 89 something. I think I saw it on Reddit the other earlier on the Yakuza subreddit, and I think it's interesting that like Sega's I think that when they did the whole like survey and they talked to the fans, I think a lot of fans buy it digitally and sales reflect that, and maybe not a lot of people are buying the collector's edition like we did for the Yakuza 6 Song of Life, and maybe they're just scaling back and thinking, man, we can make more money if we put more digital goods in it instead of like physical goods. So they're still giving us a steel bookcase, which is cool, but they're not going to give us a big box for like $100 with a bunch of like cards and posters and all the other goodies that we like physically. So I think Sega's stepping back and doubling down on their digital. So is it bad? I don't know. It just shows you that I think the Yakuza fan base is a more younger fan base that is buying more digital. And I think that's good for Sega as a company, but for us old people, probably not, because we like physical things. So we would like to have a collector's edition. Yeah. And we also saw the box art, like you said, and we also have if you're you're obviously watching this on YouTube, you can see both of them right now, the Japanese and the American. And as you could tell, the Japanese one is more red. Everybody's so angry on the cover. And then in the Japanese one, it's yellow. It looks more silly. Everybody's like, Ichiban is like smiling in it. He looks a little psycho. I think it kind of reflects what the marketing is for the game. But I heard a lot of people online saying that the Western one is better just because it reflects. I think both of them reflect a bit of the franchise, but like I think a lot in the West like the silliness of it. And while there's a lot of dramatic moments in Yakuza. It's not all silly moments. There's sad moments, angry moments. But a lot of people like to remember the silly moments, and it's weird because in the past it was kind of like the opposite the way they promoted it. In America, this is like Grand Theft Auto, and in Japan it was a silly adventure with Kazuma Kiryu, the hero. So, what do you think about these box arts, and which one do you like more?
Between the two, I like the sillier Western one with the yellow because I feel like, it's very clear Kazuma is not the star for this kind of soft reboot that they're doing. I think it's smart, actually, if we're also going to go by title, that they're not calling it Yakuza 7 over here. I think when you go that deep with numbers, it turns people off, especially once it's a story-based game.
Yep.
And I think here, moving forward, if we call Yakuza 8 Like a Dragon 2, should that happen, I'm all for it. And I like the fact that, you look at some of the art of, what's his name? Ichiban.
Yeah, Ichiban. That's his name, yeah.
Ichiban. If you look at some of the art, he looks like he's trying to be Kazuma, where he's like scowling, looking down. That doesn't work for him. I like the fact that he's kind of like head up, tilted to the side, little grin. It feels like, and I think we've discussed this a while back when this was first announced, that he's kind of an amalgamation of Kazuma and Goro Majima, where he's got a little bit of both of their, he's a little crazy, but he's a little more stylish. He's not missing an eye.
Yeah.
So, all in all, I much prefer the Western one. And I'm also speculating that it's not going to be yellow. I think it might be gold.
Yeah, that's what I think they're going for too. But I think it looks yellow when you look at it on the picture. And of course, I actually like the red a little more. I don't know. Something about the red that the Japanese one used, I really like. But the poses and the way the vibe is, the Western one kind of nailed it. And they get props, whoever did the box art for this. Great design work.
Yeah.
Outside of this, any other news that we missed?
No, I think if anything, Sega's actually downplaying the fact that this is a turn-based RPG.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not that we're missing news, it's that I think they're kind of avoiding news. I don't know why. They think maybe that'll turn people off from it.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. I think moving forward, though, they will start doing gameplay videos. They're not going to hide it.
I doubt it, too.
To be honest, if Xbox people are going to be coming into the series now, if anything, we might have a whole new Yakuza fan base who are like, oh, I didn't like the old ones on PlayStation. They were like beat 'em ups. I thought they were role playing games. So you never know.
That'd be a good moment.
I did want to note too. You were saying on Twitter, people who avoided the Yakuza series for so long because it did not have English dubs. And I know you were kind of joking, but like there were real people there who were like, I've never played this series because I don't like listening to Japanese.
Yeah,
and reading subtitles.
Yeah, it's the same thing with movies. I know people that don't watch movies that are foreign because of that, and it's like, man, you're missing out on some good stuff. And it's like, sometimes it's cool to have dubs. I mean, I like that it's such a high quality dub, but at the same time, it's like, man, you're missing 5, 6, well, it's more than 6 games at this time.
Right.
Great games just because you're like, I don't want to read. It's like, is that what we're coming to here in America? Come on, guys.
Please read. Yes, exactly.
Let us know what you guys think about Yakuza Like a Dragon in the comments below. What do you guys think about the voice actors they chose? What do you guys think about it being on Xbox day one, being one of the first games in the main series, Yakuza series, in this series, to come out on another console that's not PlayStation? Let us know in the comments below.
Yes.
Peace.